Good morning!
Morning. Good morning.
Oh, and in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Okay. Yeah. The Truman Show, released in 1998 and is directed by Peter Weir, who has directed such films like Witness, Dead Poets Society, and Master and Commander, The Far Side of the World! That is a callback to the early days of Caleb Watches movies. And surprisingly, one of my most popular movie reviews. Like, everyone is clicking on it. And I don't know why. Because no one saw that movie. But everyone did see The Truman Show. And this film is starring Jim Carrey, Laura Linney, Noah Emmerich, and Ed Harris. Truman Burbank lives in a wonderful little town, in a wonderful little city, in a wonderful little life. But Truman has always had dreams of being an explorer and visiting places that, well, no one in his family or no one in his close relationships have ever visited. However, every time that he tries to get off the island, he is stopped by some weird, strange reason. This is all because Truman is actually starring in his own reality TV series called The Truman Show. But he doesn't know it. Okay, first off, right off the bat, how many people after watching this movie have gone through their daily routine and their daily lives and have stopped and wondered, wait a minute, am I in a TV show? It's me. All the time. I actually find myself looking for a camera whenever someone around me, or if I'm at work and someone says something just stupid or outrageous, and I don't want to say anything that will offend them or anything that would get me fired. So I kind of just look off to the side and I just find an imaginary camera and I do the Jim Halpert from The Office and I just look at the camera and go, or it might be like, I can't believe they just said that look, something like this. I do that all the time, and I'm going to attribute a lot of it to this movie, and probably a little bit to The Office, but mostly this movie, The Truman Show. Now, this was the late 90s, and Jim Carrey had established himself as a powerhouse in the comedic world. He was in Living Color, he did The Cable Guy, the Ace Ventura movies, he did Liar Liar, which is my favorite comedy of all time. So when this movie was coming out, and I remember seeing trailers for it, and they were trying to really focus on the humorous or the comedic aspects of the film, because that's who Jim Carrey was. Hey, he's the funny guy. Come see our movie. We got the funny guy again. But this was really Jim Carrey's first attempt and first breakout performance in a serious, dramatic role. Jim Carrey is known for taking these weird, quirky characters and dialing their energy and their improvisation up to 11, and we still see little glimpses of that animated Jim Carrey in Truman Burbank, but he dials back everything, and his performance here is so genuine and so believable, and I love this attempt from Jim Carrey. And from what I remember, a lot of people did. The man won a Golden Globe for Best Actor in a Drama. Although, to be fair, the Golden Globes is really a BS award show. A group of 60 people vote on who gets nominated because they just really want celebrities to show up, and then they all vote on, hey, who's the best? Hey, The Martian. That's a comedy, right? Let's nominate it. So really, the Golden Globes don't mean anything other than, really, if you win a Golden Globe award for an acting performance, you're typically a shoo-in for an Academy Award acting nomination. Which I remember everyone thinking, oh, Jim Carrey, he's a shoo-in for Best Actor, at least being nominated for it. And then come to find out that year's Academy Awards, he was not even nominated. He did nothing. I think he showed up and presented the award for like Best Film Editing or Sound Editing, some editing award. And if you're ever looking for a great award speech, I show that speech to my students when I taught communications. I show that speech to them. It is a picture-perfect speech on how to take an awkward position and make it your own. He comes out and says, I'm here to present the award for Best Film Editing. That's all I'm here to do. I have nothing else to worry about. I can just sit back, relax, and enjoy the parties. And then he breaks into like fake crying and saying like, oh, he messed it up. I should have talked to more people. I thought voting for myself was going to be enough. It's picture perfect how to make light of a situation that, rocked him to the core. I'm like, come on. This is one of my best dramatic performances ever. I should have been nominated. But he makes it his own and makes fun of it, and everyone loved it. Just as they loved his performance with this movie. And it's a great script, too. It's written by Andrew Niccol, and originally it was supposed to be a lot darker. It was supposed to take place in like an apartment in New York City, and it was supposed to be like a sci-fi thriller, which I could definitely see this concept playing out in that genre. But I like that we take a dramatic, bright, nice look at this type of situation. What would happen if a studio, if a company adopted a child and made it the star of its own reality TV series without him or her knowing? There's just so many morality questions that go along with that concept, but yet you can't help but want to see that. Even with what we know as reality TV, everything is scripted in a way. That's the big myth behind reality television. Oh, it's all real, it's all unplanned. No, it is completely planned out. They have writers there giving ideas to all of these cast members and influencing them in some sort of way. That's reality TV. But how cool would it be to watch a television show where we literally watch someone grow up, grow old, and live out their life not knowing it? I gotta be honest, there's a part of me that would actually love to see that. And we see people watching this TV series throughout this movie, and their reactions to, yes, come on, get off the island, or, oh gosh, I wish he would have ended up with her. And they're so consumed with watching this one person's life that they really forget to live their own life. There's this one audience member that the film shows, and he's watching the show in his bathtub. Can you imagine? He's probably not left that bathtub in days. The filth and the grime. Ugh. The disgust that I have just thinking about it. This movie plays with your morality a lot. It asks a lot of you, and it brings you to a fork in a road with certain philosophical ideas and what's right, what's wrong, what can we control, what should we control, what can't we control. Because there's this debate in this movie of you can't just imprison someone without them knowing into this life that you want for them and use them for your own personal gain, which seems very shitty when the child is owned by a company and a corporation. But how different is that really from a normal parental situation with a child? Whether it's a father-mother, mother-mother, father-father, any parenting combination, don't you kind of imprison them for the first 18 years of their life against their will? You make them move with you wherever you move for work or recreation. You make them eat the same foods that you do. You typically make them believe the same beliefs that you have, whether it's religion or politics. Is it really that different? And is it really that wrong that a corporation is doing it as opposed to parents doing it? I'm not saying that one is right or one is wrong. I think they both have some gray area there. I'm putting it out there. That's what this movie does. It puts it out there. It starts that conversation. And I love movies that do that start a conversation where two adult people can have a conversation about the movie, and maybe they have two different viewpoints, but through nice, polite conversation, they all are goody-goody two-shoes in the end, and they both respect and love each other, because that's what social media does nowadays. Right? Really, what this movie does prove is what Jeff Goldblum said in Jurassic Park. Life, finds a way. There is this power of free will and this power of choice that we as humans have that no one really can control. And whatever we will ourselves to do, we will most likely end up doing that, regardless of what our parents say, regardless of what society says, regardless of what government says. If we have a will to do something and to be something more than what society had intended for us, we can do that. Life finds a way. Truman really wants to leave this island and become an explorer and just see the world, just see anything outside of his little tiny home. But there are so many forces fighting back against him that it almost seems impossible. But life, finds a way. I love this movie so much. I even like Laura Linney in this movie, and I'm not really a big fan of her. I always find that I don't believe a lot of the characters that she portrays in film, which I think that aspect of just how I think about her as an actress actually really, really works with this movie. Because that's her character. She's playing the character of Truman's wife, and she is doing a bunch of product placement that just seems unnatural, and that's kind of how I think her acting is, and yeah, it works for this movie. And I never realized what product placement was in a movie until I saw Truman Show. Positioning the star right next to a poster to promote it, or saying, "Oh, hey, honey, do you want to try this?" And blah, 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 blah. I remember being very stupid after watching this movie for the first time because I realized that, oh, these film studios want to make money, so they put all these products in their films, and they place them in certain areas that when dumb consumers like me watch it, they go, "Oh, I need to have that." The year before this movie came out, I watched Batman and Robin, and there's just a ton of product placement for toys in that, and I had to have every single one for that movie. If you've never seen this movie before, I think it's going to be a little confusing for you at first because you really don't know what's happening. You probably know the premise. Yes, he's in a TV show, but they don't really say that until kind of at the end of Act 2. Or at least they don't really show the big technical aspect of the TV show until the end of Act 2 with director Ed Harris and then the sound room and the control room and everything like that. But I think if you watch it a second time and a third time, everything seems to make a lot more sense on multiple viewings. So if you're going to check this out for the first time, just stick with it and go with it, and then maybe wait a couple of days, go back and watch it. I think you'll like it way more the second time. I'm going to give The Truman Show 5 out of 5 Blu-rays.
I think I see blue. He looks glorious.
I didn't think I was going to do that, but I really don't have anything negative to say about this movie. It's wonderful. It's spectacular. I love it. All right, everyone, now comes my favorite part in my videos where I pick which movie I'm going to be watching next. Next one comes as a recommendation from one of my subscribers who has recommended some not favorable movies in the past, but I'm giving him another shot here with, it was an interesting movie that he recommended. Never watched it before. This is from Rodrigo. You recommended the movie The Agora. Or is it Agora? I think it's just Agora. Which I felt really cool when he recommended that because I know what Agora means. I teach theater, and when we talk about the Greeks, which is where organized theatrical productions began, we talk about the Agora. I know what that is. If you want to know what it is, you'll have to tune in next time. Or just Google it. I guess. So thank you much everyone for the recommendation of The Truman Show. If any of you have recommendations of films that you want me to review on here, leave your comment below this video, or go to my Facebook page, my Instagram, or my Twitter, leave your recommendation there. And if you want to make a PayPal donation, go to the PayPal icon on my main page of my YouTube channel. You can make any donation amount that you want, and you can make a recommendation with it. If you make a donation, your recommendation might make its way to the front of the line. I really appreciate anything. Just trying to make this channel a little bit bigger for everyone, and if you want to support it, I am definitely trying to welcome it. So guys, have you seen The Truman Show? What did you think about it? Or if you've never seen it before, and you stumbled across it because of this video, then comment below, let me know what you thought about it. And as always, if you like what you see here, if you like my take on movies, then hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit that bell so you know the next time I release my next movie review. So guys, I will see you next time with my review of Agora. So in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.